What's up, everybody? Welcome back into Gamecock Central. Kendall Smith alongside of Wes Mitchell here for a little 2023 spring game preview. South Carolina getting ready to finish off spring practice with their spring game at Williams-Brice Stadium this Saturday, 7 p.m. Wes, I'm pumped about this one. The night game, the fireworks, just all of the excitement surrounding South Carolina football, I think makes it a lot more entertaining and enjoyable than what we were experiencing a couple years ago.
Yeah, night game, I kind of feel like it's South Carolina's thing now for the spring game. I think it adds a little extra element, gives the fans a little bit better day. They can get out, tailgate, enjoy the day throughout, get maybe a little bit loose for the matchup. And it's not just a scrimmage. You come out for like a noon or a 1 o'clock kickoff. It's over by the middle of the afternoon, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do the rest of the day. This is cool, and I do think this actually helps with recruiting just a little bit as well, Kendall.
Well, they'll get to show off maybe the LED lights that they recently installed, and
Yep.
tons of recruits love to see those. So yes, lots and lots in store. It's the big Gamecock weekend. Wes and I are running the Cocky Trot 5K on Saturday. So if any of you guys are out there, be sure to give us a shout. We got a little friendly competition going on here, though Wes should beat me because he is much taller than me, so his legs are longer. Anyways, we could get into all of that later on, but Wes, spring game this weekend, it's obviously not a traditional game, if you will. In years past, we've seen South Carolina do the scrimmage style for the first couple of quarters, and then the last two quarters, they might do some more positional drills, but we get a little bit of a taste of what this team might look like come fall. So Wes, first question for you. What are you most excited to see with this South Carolina football team at the spring game this weekend?
Yeah, I always like to see the newcomers, the guys who you maybe haven't gotten a great look at. I've been out there for some of the open portions of practice, but we haven't really seen actual 11 versus 11 scrimmaging where you're tackling to the ground. And I think that's an important element. If you want specifics, I'm very curious to watch the running back room. You have a guy in Mario Anderson who is obviously brand new. If you go back and look, the numbers he put up at Newberry were just phenomenal. All indications are he's actually made a pretty smooth transition to this level. But seeing him go out there, get tackled to the ground by an SEC defense, Montario Hardesty has talked a lot about Mario's ability to sort of be physical at the point of contact, have balance at the point of contact. I want to see those things in real time against a real defense. And also, obviously, not a newcomer into Kerryon Joyner, but a newcomer to that running back position. He's ran hard. He's looked like a natural runner. As you would expect, he's one of these guys who can just kind of do anything on a football field. But I'm very excited to see what he is capable of this Saturday night. And, I think we'll get at least, I don't know, maybe a few drives of those guys in action. So first quarter, second quarter are really when you're going to see stuff that you can learn from in a spring game.
Something that has been a huge storyline for the last few months is South Carolina's offense. So this is the first opportunity for most people to see what Dowell Loggins might bring to the table. Now, disclaimer once again, this is not exactly what things are going to look like in the fall. That's why you have spring practice, so you can figure out the kinks, and we won't be able to see a full game because you're inter squad scrimmaging, so it's not like you're playing another team that's in your conference. But Wes, how much of this offense do you think we'll get to see on Saturday, and how much of a feel for it do you anticipate to get?
Yeah, I mean, I really hate to give this answer, but I also feel like we got to be honest. I would say very little. I think the thing I'm looking for, but it's kind of a boring answer, but I think is important, is how easily do they get in and out of the offense? How often are they huddling versus no huddle? How quickly does it look like they're getting lined up? Does it look like Spencer Rattler or Luke Doty is having to direct guys and push them in a different direction? Hey, you're on the right side. You're supposed to be on the left side versus just getting lined up and going. I think as far as the actual plays, probably very similar to what we saw last year. We know good and well how these coaches protect their big secrets this time of year. So we're not going to see anything we didn't see last year, but I do think we can learn from it. Is there a flow? Do the quarterbacks look comfortable? Do they look like they kind of know what's going on? And I would expect, we saw a little bit from Rattler this time last year, but I would expect for you to see a guy who is completely in command of this team, in command of this offense, and getting the ball out to his playmakers. That's what I think you want to see, a clean game, few turnovers, and just an offense that looks efficient. As far as X's and O's and the plays and what they're actually running, you ain't going to learn nothing.
So you don't think that we're going to see any of the trick plays from special teams that haven't been revealed yet? Sadly, we're not going to get any of that this year. And again, it is the spring.
Got to save those, Kendall.
Right, you do. And, we've talked about this spring game. So this is a question that I want to ask because we have talked about it a lot, especially on 107.5 The Game, which we are both on every day of the week for Wes and Chris. And then I'm on Tuesdays, Thursdays. But Wes, would you like to eventually see this game, and I know Shane Beamer would, see this game be played against another in-state school that's FCS, where South Carolina can kind of get that feel of how it would be to play like an actual team instead of scrimmage within?
Yeah, let's help push this movement. I'm all for it. I'm really kind of struggling to figure out why you wouldn't do it. Honestly, it kind of feels like one of those things. Oh, we do it this way because that's the way we've always done it, which is a terrible reason to do anything in the world, frankly. Did have a high school coach who said, hey, what about the fact that if I'm a lower school and I go play South Carolina, and let's say I have a guy like Mario Anderson, and now, the transfer portal window opens right after the spring. Oh, man, we just got a great evaluation of that running back on that other team. So I think you would have to have a rule, basically, that for a certain amount of time, if you scrimmage a team, their players are all off limits from the transfer portal. That would be the way to maybe cut that down. But the benefits, I think, are just astronomical. Why would you not do it? You do it, weirdly, you do it at the high school level and you do it at the NFL level. So why don't you do it at the college level? So the higher level and the lower level. I mean, you have a jamboree in high school where you get like 8 teams involved, so I don't know. It makes no sense. You should have like South Carolina and Furman, South Carolina and Wofford, South Carolina and Charleston. So any local team would benefit from that. And I think what you do, Kendall, getting long-winded here as always, what you do is you just say, hey, Shane Beamer, hey, other coach, what do each of you want to get from this game? And you can match it up however you want. Hey, we want to work on red zone. Can we do a little extra of that? Of course, we can do that. It's done. So you can kind of make sure both sides agree to the format ahead of time and make sure both sides are going to get out of it what they need. And then guess what? The fans get a look against your team against another opponent. I think it's a win-win-win-win. I don't understand why we don't do it.
Shane Beamer is a huge advocate for it. He's talked about it many, many, many times.
He's been pushing it for a decade, apparently.
He has been on board with this for so long. So maybe one of these days we'll see it. Do you have a preference on South Carolina's in-state opponent, Wes?
I mean, I keep throwing out Furman, so I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I just like their whole FU thing. Like, I think that's cool. Like, I keep throwing out Furman.
They do get to play on the words a lot there. Yeah, definitely something that we would both love to see happen in the future. But for now, we're rocking with what we have.
Do you have a team?
Carolina. I mean, I'm fine with Furman, Wofford, the Citadel. It doesn't matter to me. Like, any of those are totally fine. Charleston Southern. I think just getting to play another team, it gives it kind of that extra layer of that game day feel. So that would be my big reason for it. But I don't really care who it is that South Carolina plays, just as long as they get a look against a team that isn't them, because they've been playing the same guys week after week after week here during spring practice. So it would be good to kind of keep the mind fresher after seeing, the same guys over and over again. But anyways, we don't get to see that this year. We get to see South Carolina.
Maybe one day.
South Carolina, 7 p.m. spring game this Saturday at Williams-Brice Stadium. Going to be a great time, a big Gamecock weekend in store, and we will keep you updated on all of it over on GamecockCentral.com. Not only a lot happening with football, but our South Carolina baseball team heading to Nashville to take on the Vandy boys. Colin Taylor is going to be live in Nashville, so keep up with him as well and follow us on all of our social medias at Gamecock Central. Wes, thank you so much. This has been our spring game preview here on GamecockCentral.com. He's Wes Mitchell. I'm Kendall Smith, and we will see you guys soon. Have a great day.